put together a little video of everything I've gotten done on this tank of a truck up to this point, because I get a lot of questions. So I figured I'd do a little walk around, show the things that I've changed and played with, and if anybody has any questions, at least give them somewhere to go. Um, the biggest thing that sticks out on this rig is this front bumper, and I get a lot of questions. I don't believe in buying it. I'd rather make it before I buy it. So what you have here is a no-name aftermarket front bumper I bought on Facebook for $150 out of Oklahoma off a 3/4 ton Dodge, and modified, made some special brackets to go right to the frame. And I had a police, which is the bottom half, I had a police push bar. I got brand new on Facebook, $50 out of KCPD, and that's the top half. And all I did is cut the bottom half, bolt it to the bottom, and made a heck of a little setup. I've got Grody 6x9 module headlights up front. I've got a little receiver hitch that I put on the top. I certainly wouldn't pull from there, but it's great to store my portable winch or put a little bull nose there. But I've got a worn 12,000 pound sitting behind there with 100 foot of synthetic rope. Seems to pretty much pick his truck up and put it in all the stupid places that I put it. So it's worked out pretty good. LED fog lights, and then you can see here I've got the quick disconnect jump box, so I can use it for the portable winch, and I've got one that runs straight to the back for that too. The tires are 35 by 12.5 17s, pretty good offset. I got the tires and wheels. I got the wheels and a set of Goodyear BFGs for $250. The BFGs were worn out, so I bought a set of Coopers, and I have got nothing but good things to say about them right now. In the engine, well, let's go around the back, then we'll talk about that. You can tell I've rhino lined the bottom half with these tires sticking out. You can see, if I can get a good angle, there's going to be a lot of rocks being thrown with these tires, and having the bottom rhino lined is a big thing. I've got helper airbags, and here's the port to fill those up with. On the back, I've got a custom swing out bumper, again with another 35 and a jerry can. I've got one of those Wish license plate mounted brackets, and what I've done is I've flipped it upside down, mounted a plate, because as you can see the rear bumper kind of blocks it, and mounted a couple backup lights, and seems to work out pretty good. This just straight swing out, and in the back I've gotten rid of the factory bumper. I've got a custom crossbar and of course a step on there, and then you can see I've got an onboard tank, air tank. I think it's a 3-gallon. Great for airing up tires, running the lockers when I do get those, and then a backup camera. Oddly enough, I've got the ladder off of an FJ Cruiser, modified it, and it works out pretty good. On this side, it's pretty much the same. You can see that I have a set of Ram 1500 helper springs. I think they're Bilstein. And then that's pretty much it as far as suspension goes in the back with those helper bags. It does have a 2-inch body lift, and I've got the front cranked all the way up, so altogether it's about 5 inches. Here I don't have the inner fender flares in, but you can see I've got the JBA headers on it. These things flow like nobody's business. It's just amazing. Under the hood, I've done a few things. Got an Optima battery, of course, and then I've got a double air filter Y intake. It's great for performance. It lets a lot of air in. We've got no complaints with it. It will swamp though if you're going to go through some rivers. So I am working on a snorkel setup right now. With me pulling the fenders and raising the truck, the engine coolant and the washer bottles would have stuck out and been uncool. So I've got two aftermarket engine coolant reservoir and then a washer reservoir. You'll have to forgive me. I've spent all day off-roading and this truck is disgusting still. I've sprayed it off, but you guys know what that's like. Up top is a 4 by 6 foot aluminum, all aluminum roof rack that I've repurposed. Got I think it's a 50-inch light bar, maybe a 48-inch light bar. Across the front with spot and floods. I've got area lighting, LED pods, and of course the high lift. And then what I've used for the floor, if I can see it here, I'll get up real high, is a set of bifold ramps. And the reason I have those is I can pull those off and use those as max tracks, traction enhancement, if I need to. If not, they make a good floor. And I do have the Ram fold-up mirrors. These are great for towing. I do a lot of towing. So, there's a little modification that goes straight on the truck. Nothing's perfect, but this truck is a user truck. This isn't a show truck. Now on the inside, you can see I keep it, for the most part, the interior is where I spend most of my time, obviously. I have built a custom center console, diamond plate on top, and then it's kind of a mess right now, but I got the cell phone mount, I've got the heated seat switch that I've relocated from the dash, and then my switch panel, and of course you've got the forward lights, side lights. I got my air compressor, my water pump. This one's spare, and then I've got a winch switch here, and then a voltmeter, and then connected to the radio. I do have a 7-inch touchscreen Kenwood. Works pretty good. It goes with the TV mounted on the roof for the kiddo. So my kiddo likes to go. And then I reuse the factory armrest and tray right in the center console. I'm working on testing out the whole paracord wrap steering wheel. I've done the bottom half and I'm really happy with it. Good grip, especially today. It's really dirty. Climbing in when you're completely muddy from winching, it's great. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole wheel. I do have a set of gauges. I got oil, and then I've got a dual air pressure gauge that for my air compressor, and then eventually for the lockers. I got a roof rack up on the top, very simple. I keep a Taurus Judge, Poly Judge here. This is a great camping gun all around. Couple AR mags, and then a radio pouch where I put my handheld. So that's nice with a little hand mic when you're winching and whatnot. In the back, each of the seats has its own little mount. And so I've got first aid kit, knife, pistol pouch, and then a couple of blank ones here for whatever but anybody needs. And then in the back, if I can get the sun out of the way, it's fighting me today. Got the inverter, rear heat and AC, and then of course another power outlet for the rear. I have removed the center section of the seats. Never used it. Now I have 10 times the room in the back. It's so much nicer. Let's see. I have first aid kit, extra pouches on the window back there. And then I have the same thing in here, if I can get a good shot for you. Right now there's a big old canteen sitting in it, but These are really nice, especially when you're camping. You can throw all kinds of things in there. Now in the back, kind of cool. And I wish you could see it. I don't want to unload the truck right now. In here is the intake for the shower and the output for the shower. And in here I've tapped off the rear heat, and under here is a heat exchanger. So hot coolant from the truck comes out of the rear heat, goes through a heat exchanger, and then back, and I can run water through the heat exchanger, and I can get a hot shower at the end of the day. Can't tell you how nice that is. In the back, I've installed really rudimentary a set of LED modules. So when I'm working back here in the back, I can do whatever I need to. Everything you see on here is fairly crude right now. I'm working on getting it all mocked up, and then eventually I'll powder coat everything. In the meantime, it's not too bad. And that is about it. You can see here on the other side, I've got the same setup, except this one has a canteen and then a water bottle, and then a couple, I think it's a triple mag, AR mag pouch. So, but we could still seat 7 in this, go pretty much anywhere you want to go. I stuck it in some pretty nasty places today, and what I couldn't get out will winch out. In the meantime, I'm working on, you might notice the bracket in the back, a axle swap. I'm going to be going to Leaf Springs with a 3/4 ton axle with an AAM 11.5 inch axle, 410 gears. It's going to be quite the beast at that point. I'm kind of excited about that. I've been working on mocking up some brackets for the Leaf Springs. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's about it. That's the highlights.